Are you sick of living in the shadow of someone else? Need some help learning to love yourself and tap into your unique strengths, or embrace your leadership potential so you can thrive in your life. This is Empower with Nancy. Let's start the show. Oh.
Welcome to another episode with Empower with Nancy. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about escaping the work rabbit hole. Work smarter, live better, and we will explore our tips, the tips that I want to share with you and the strategies to help you thrive in your career and your personal life. Today, we're going to dive really deep into the topics that affect us all, is overcoming the rabbit hole within work. I know I've been there multiple times, and I'm sure you have as well. And sometimes we get so stuck, we don't even know what direction to go. We just throw our hands up and like, what the heck are we doing? How do we get out of this? I hate my job. I hate this. I'm overworked. I have too much on my plate and yada, 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 right? Just keeps going and going into the rabbit hole. You know what that means is those moments that we feel when we start on one task and get sidetracked and suddenly realize hours have passed. We're going to explore why this happens and, more importantly, how do we avoid it? I know I racked my brain for years and years and years. And like I said, I too, sometimes even to this day, go into the rabbit hole of my business and knowing how to really get out of it. And sometimes I have to say, Nancy, stop, think, relax, and let's get to it. So have you ever really found yourself starting your day with a very clear plan, only to end up working on something completely different, feeling like you did not accomplish one thing? This is what we call falling down the rabbit hole. It's a phenomenon. Many of us experience this, often triggered by what? Distractions, multitasking, or even the nature of our work environment. That is so important that we don't get stuck into the rabbit hole, the negative rabbit hole. And today I'm really going to break down into 3 parts. And the first one is understanding why we fall into the rabbit hole. Number 2 is recognizing the signs that we're heading down the rabbit hole. And 3, implementing strategies to help stay focused and productive. So first, let's understand why this happens to us. The rabbit hole effect can be caused by several factors, including number 1 is digital distractions, our cell phones, our computers, our iPads, poor time management, and even psychological triggers like procrastination and perfection, where we constantly say, we're going to do that tomorrow, and we procrastinate, or we wait to the very end of the deadline where that anxiety builds up. We get so overwhelmed that we can't even focus on our day-to-day responsibilities. So falling into that rabbit hole often stems from our own self, our brains need for instant gratification. Like our brains need an instant gratification. When we receive a new email or notification, our brain releases dopamine, the feel-good hormone, making us more likely to engage with the distraction rather than stick to the planned task. Stick to the task of plan each and every day. So it's not just about willpower. You can do it. Just let's go, be strong, suck it up, but understanding our brain chemistry. Awareness is the first step towards change by understanding why we get distracted. Why do we get so distracted so easily? We can start by developing strategic strategies to really battle this issue that we run into on a day-to-day. And so let's talk about recognizing certain signs. Often we don't realize we're heading down the rabbit hole until we're deep in it, right? Here are some signs to watch out for and to really pay attention. Don't overthink this because it really is quite simple. We're the ones that make it so difficult. So, frequent task switching, constantly jumping between tasks without completing one, it's a big no-no. It will distract you, it will take you down the rabbit hole, you will get anxiety, frustrated, and when we're constantly jumping to one task to another, we tend to blame others for our mistake. And that's what we're doing the finger pointing because we ourselves didn't take the accountability. Time blindness. Have you ever thought and heard of time blindness? Losing track of time while you're working, not staying on task. Or you sometimes we're constantly focusing on the time that creates the time blindness because we're so focused on it, knowing that what we have to do to get what we need to get done on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes when we're all over the place and not staying to the task at hand and a plan that you have each day, when we're reactionary to different emails and people come into our office all the time, trying to solve problems when you can delegate those problems or situations to others or to management, and or you feel that you have to do it all because you can't depend on your team to do it right, right? That can really take us down the time blindness of losing our day. And overwhelming cluttering, physical or digital cluttering that makes it hard for us to focus on. It's us. The digital cluttering is your phone's right next to you. Turn off your phone, put it on mute, or put it face down, because while you're working and you're working in your emails, and then all of a sudden if you have your phone right in front of you and you get a text message, what do? Do you think you're going to ignore it? No. You're going to focus on that while other emails are coming in or people coming into at your desk or in your office. Again, you can control the day that you want to have. It is up to you. So recognizing these signs early can really save you a lot of time and frustration. For example, if you find yourself frequently switching tasks, just take a step back and reassess your priorities. The minute you start to feel that, look at your list, figure out what you need to do, and get back on track. Setting timers, like on your cell phone, a timer on your computer, or a time tracking app can help. These tools can alert you when you spent too long on a task, promoting you to move on or take a break. It's just like when you have the iWatch, when it's telling you're sitting too long, get up and take a walk. Same thing. So let's talk about what are other solutions. And I'm going to talk about some of the strategies that can help you avoid falling into the rabbit hole. Number one is creating a structured plan. Start your day with a clear plan. Outline your task and allocate specific task and time blocks each day. I am old school where I like to get my notepad and I have a whiteboard in my office and I write down my to-do list the night before the next day. So right before I'm ready to end my shift for the day, I will write down everything I need to do so that the next day my day is already planned. I'm not scrambling through emails and figuring out what I need to do the next day. And I make my list, but I don't make that list to where it's overwhelming. I don't make that daily list for projects that need to get done weeks on out. Take those small stepping stones and make those tasks manageable so that you know that once you go into the day and you're starting to look at your to-do list, the most important thing is you make it achievable and check it off. Because each and every time that you check off that to-do list or that one item that you need to do for that day, or that task you need to do for that day, it's going to motivate you to go to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. Number 2 is limit distractions. Like I said, turn off non-essential notifications. This could be on your email. You know, when you get the little pop-up when you get an email on the right-hand corner of your monitor that is telling you, oh, you have an email, turn it off or don't jump in there, click on it and respond to the email. That will definitely take you off task. And it could take you down the rabbit hole because if that email is something that you feel that you need to get done right then and there, you just pushed your to-do list to the side. Number 3 is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques like meditation can really improve your focus and reduce the urge to switch tasks because you're keeping yourself grounded. Walk away from your computer or desk and take a walk or just maybe meditate in your office or at your desk for 10 minutes or just walk away, maybe sit in your car and just meditate for 10 minutes just to get a quick reset and breather. And number 4 is use the what? Oh, this one is so powerful. And it is the Pomodoro. Work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. This will help you maintain concentration and prevent burnout. And it's the Pomodoro. That's Pomodoro. I learned that years ago. I think it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Is work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. It doesn't mean you have to get up off your desk. Just take a quick little break from your task, just to kind of do a reset. And if you don't need to do 25 minutes, maybe it's every hour. Do what works best for you. One of my favorite strategies is this technique because it's really simple yet incredibly effective. By breaking your work into intervals, you can maintain the focus and productivity levels without feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. Write down your to-do list in a notebook or a whiteboard. I like to use my whiteboard and make sure that you're checking off your task. At the end of the day, if you look at that list and you haven't checked it off, you have to reassess and figure out why you didn't, right? And take the accountability steps. When you don't take the accountability, you're going to push it off that list to the next day and to the next day and then the next day. So it really is a game changer if you stay to the task. Falling down the rabbit hole is a common challenge, guys. It really, really, truly is. We're all guilty of it. But with the right awareness and strategies, you can overcome it. So remember to understand your distractions and recognize the signs and the patterns to implement practical solutions for yourself, because everything is a pattern. We tend to do the same thing over and over and over again. So trying to figure that out, write it all down. Why did you feel that you did not get through your task and you just keep falling in the rabbit hole and you just can't get out of it? I hope that you loved this episode today because I've been thinking about what can I educate my audience about work? And there's been times in this last few weeks I've kind of felt like I went down the rabbit hole a little bit, but I know how to get myself out of it because I recognize those patterns. So thank you again for all my listeners and staying tuned into another phenomenal episode. If you find this episode helpful, please share it with your friends, family, and even colleagues that within your work. And don't forget to subscribe to Empower with Nancy so you don't miss out on the weekly episodes. I always post an episode weekly. Until next time, stay focused and make sure that you don't overthink that you're continuing to go down the rabbit hole, because that will be the direction you head. You've got this. With gratitude, Nancy. Thank you for listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating and review, and share it with a friend. To connect with me and get all the behind the scenes content, you can follow me on Instagram at Empower with Nancy and visit my website, empowerwithnancy.com, to learn more about how coaching with me can significantly enhance your life and business. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. See you next time.